What is the most important thing in your life right now? You're alive right now, isn't it? Sadhguru, that's okay, Sadhguru, but I have a bundle of 1,000 rupees, Sadhguru, but I don't know where to go. That's fine, that is also important right now. But what is the most important thing right now? You're alive right now, isn't it so? Because you're alive, your family has become important, your money has become important, your country has become important, so many other things have become important only because you're alive right now. And this is the most important thing, that you're alive right now is the most important thing in your life right now. So, suppose tomorrow morning you wake up. You know every day nearly 250,000 people die on the planet, natural death. 250,000 people die. But you did not. Tomorrow morning you woke up, check, am I alive? If you're alive, will you give yourself one big smile? If you're alive, if you're not, I'll excuse you. Will you give yourself one big smile if you're alive? And if 250,000 people died, at least 2 to 3 million people lost somebody who's dear to them. So you check those 3-4 people who are very important in your life, all of them are alive today. One more big smile, then you check time, it's 11:30, you're still alive. Don't think this is a joke. What is ticking off here is not the clock, it's your life. It is not the clock ticking away, it is your life ticking away. And it is 12 o'clock, you're still alive. You must promise me this, every time you check time, you must give yourself a smile if you are still alive. If you're dead, you're pardoned. But so many people are walking on the street as if they're practicing their posture for their grave. Don't worry, it'll come naturally, please. Death is super efficient, it doesn't need practice. When it happens, boom, 100%. Nobody ever died inefficiently. People live inefficiently, but nobody died inefficiently. So will you promise me this, every time you check the watch, you must give yourself a smile, still on, still on. You don't know how it is happening. Do you really know? Do you know how this is happening? No. And so many people who are so real, just like you and me, poof, and they're gone, just gone, nowhere to be seen. If you come to the idea of mortality once in a way, it'll make you depressed. It will make you fearful. If you live with it every moment, it will make you absolutely exuberant and alive, because it is just this one thing, that this is not forever, this is just for a brief period of time. And the more joyful you are, briefer it becomes. If you're ecstatic, it'll just vanish in no time. So if you want to stretch it, you need to make yourself truly miserable. Otherwise, it'll be just gone in no time. If you come to terms with this, if you live this way, that every moment you appreciate one thing and only one thing, because the most important thing in your life is you're alive right now. To be alive, fully alive, 100% alive is the most important thing, because only if something is 100% alive, can you make it yield something beautiful. Say you have a little plant in your house, or let's say a mango tree in your house, which is like this, which is just imitating you. Can you make it come out with lot of sweetness? No, it's alive in a big way. Now you can expect sweetness from that. Nobody has to teach the mango tree which is alive, please give sweetness. Anyway it will pour out, isn't it? Miserable people have to be taught, please be loving, please be nice to people, gentle to people, do this, do that. All these things necessary because in some way you become half alive. If you're exuberantly alive, it is natural for human consciousness to bleed sweetness every moment of your life. We don't know what great things you will do or not. We don't know whether you will climb Mount Everest or not. We don't know whether you will run faster than Mr. Bolt or not. We don't know whether you will become the richest man or woman in this world or not. But this one thing you must do to yourself, this one thing you deserve, this one thing is 100% in your hands, that you can live here as a joyful human being. This much is possible for every one of us. What's the time? Still on, huh? Let's do it. Thank you.
Today, I'm going to talk about one quality which every spiritual seeker must have in order to realize who he really is beyond the body-mind complex. Without this quality, it would not be possible for you to know who you really are beyond this body-mind complex. And that quality is Vivek, which in English means discrimination. If you are a spiritual seeker, then you must keep discriminating between the real and the unreal. Without this quality of discrimination, you will easily fall into the trap of body and mind. Without this quality, all your actions will be guided by your mind. And as you know it very well, that anything guided by mind, which is not in touch with the higher self within, which is not in touch with who you are beyond the mind, will not lead to your spiritual growth. So for your spiritual growth, you must constantly engage yourself in the discrimination of what is real and what is unreal. Now, a question must be arising in your mind as to how you will come to know what is real and what is unreal. Anything that does not change with time is real. This is the touchstone for checking the reality of anything which is real. And anything which changes with time, know for sure that that thing is unreal, is temporary. Now, going by this definition of reality, you will come to a profound realization, which is that your body and mind are also not real. Why? Because they are constantly changing. Isn't that so? The body undergoes a tremendous amount of change within just a fraction of a second. And the mind, as you know, keeps fluctuating, keeps changing every single moment. So how can they be real? What is real then? Now, to answer this question, I will have to pose a question to you all. How do you know that your body is changing? How do you know that your mind is changing? It's not the body that knows this change. Who knows it then? It's not the mind that knows this change. Who knows it then? It is the real you that sees this change, that knows this change, that witnesses this change. The real you is pure witnessing consciousness, and it does not change at all. It always remains the same for the whole eternity. Though the body and mind are continuously changing, but don't you feel this deep down that you haven't changed at all? Don't you experience this feeling of, remaining unchanged despite so much change happening within your body and mind? You were a kid once, right? The kid died when you became a teenager. Did you feel then that something changed within you? I mean the beingness, just the feeling of being, not being this or that. Did that change at all when you became a teenager, losing your kid body? And what happened when you reached the peak of your youth? Again, the teenager boy or girl was nowhere to be seen. They got replaced by some young person. So then did you feel that you changed? Now don't forget that I'm talking about the feeling of beingness here, which just knows whatever changes happen within this body-mind complex. And this is your real nature. And what happened when that young person's body got replaced by a middle-aged person? Did you notice any change in yourself? Of course, there was a complete change in the body, in the mindset, in the whole thought process. But you, as the being of consciousness, did you change at all? No. If you did, you couldn't have noticed all this change. I have already told you so. And quite soon, this middle-aged guy will have an old man's body. But I assure you, then also you wouldn't change at all. You would always remain what you always were, the being of consciousness, just the pure witnessing consciousness. So this is how you can, or rather you should, discriminate between the real and the unreal. Constant discrimination like this will one day lead to the separation of consciousness with body and mind. Separation is already there, but you just need to recognize this. And this is where the need for constant discrimination arises.